Hey, let's talk about how to destroy these bosses as quick as possible. So, first, Tech Engine. This is the first boss you'll run into. You will be fully powered up going into it, and it's pretty simple. So you mostly just fire at it from below, slide to the other side, eventually jump, and then you kill it up top. So, a couple things there to point out. There's alternatives, first of all. You can have it where it doesn't fire at you while you're up top. You have to find kind of the right spot. So you can see, like, it doesn't hit me from here. Somewhere around, like, this third notch. You see how, like, there's these, like, two little, I don't know, connecting pieces in the pipes? So you just have to find just the right distance. So if you see exactly where I'm holding on to there, that divot right there, that's kind of like where you need to hang on to. So that's an alternative, but you usually have to kind of like wiggle around a little bit to get to it. It's generally a little bit quicker, just stay on the ground, run right up to it, slide to the other side, do the same thing for a little bit. Do about 4 shots of, so you're jumping up, hold on to the rail, fire about 4 shots, then you have to go and dodge a beam and complete killing it from there. Pretty easy, whichever way you want to do it. Moving on to Hind D, which is the helicopter boss. This one, you want to have your timing of your shots, well, your timing of your jump, actually, be shortly after it starts shooting its little machine gun volley, basically. You can do a big jump while you're still throwing your chakram at it, and then you only get hit once. So that's pretty key for this, is you don't want to get knocked back too much. So you go from a pretty far distance at the start just to give yourself room. And then you should get usually within 1 health bar to kill it here. If you have a grenade, you can kill it in 1 cycle. But yeah, the key there is your timing of the jump when it's first shooting out that machine gun volley. And then otherwise you just kind of just keep attacking in the usual rhythm, since we're doing it on modern here. And then when you can't reach it with the straight shots, you just hold R to shoot diagonally at it, and then you complete it on the other side. Well, let me show you with a grenade. With a grenade, you just spam grenade right at the start. See how much damage it immediately does is that 4 damage. That's 4 damage you wouldn't have had otherwise, which is, if you remember, I was just with 1 HP pellet left. So, 4 remaining. Well, taking off 4 at the start. And there you go. So that's how you can do it in 1 cycle. It's very rare that you're going to have a grenade for that stage, but if you do, that's the quickest kill you can do on the helicopter boss. Fury Rhoads, since we are doing death warps, we will not be powered up for. You should have a grenade going into this. You want to make sure you get it. You can get it pretty quickly from the power plant stage, which at the current route you'll do right before then. If not, usually killing all the things in the auto scroller will get you a grenade. But I'll show it with grenade and without a grenade. So with a grenade, it's a lot easier. We're going to immediately grenade, well, not immediately. Once we see the bottom gunner, there he is. And you can hold L, and then you can just jump and fire at him. So this is a much riskier one. Just trying to keep it simple is just, yeah, so if you don't do any dodging, that could happen. So I was hoping to be able to demonstrate a way of killing it without doing any dodging, but you do have to do a little bit of dodging usually. So it doesn't do any firing for the first, volley or so. And then what you can do is just kind of weave in and out. You see how I'm bouncing towards the right and bouncing towards the left for each shot? That's generally what I do. So a couple more things on this fight. At the very beginning of the fight, you have a small window to do some damage, and then it starts firing 4 shots, and then it pauses for a couple seconds, and then he fires another 4 shots, and then he pauses a couple seconds, does 4 shots, pauses briefly, does 4 shots, pauses briefly. So you can always do maximum damage when it's paused, or reloading, I guess you want to put it that way. So grenade, jump, jump, and then you can go jump right, jump left, jump right, jump left, 3 damage, jump right, jump left, jump right, jump left, and then some damage, and jump right, left. You'll get a pretty good hang of the timing just so you don't die. You'll still take a couple of hits unless you're perfect at it. And yeah, so that's the majority of that. If you do it without a grenade, you're going to want to kill the gunner at the start, at the bottom. Usually about 4 shots down there. Jump right, jump left, jump right, jump left, damage, damage, right, jump left, damage, damage, jump right, jump left, jump right, jump left. It's very hard to get the one cycle without using the grenade because you waste time on the gunner down there, but you should be able to finish it off pretty quickly still like that. It isn't too bad either. Alright, Jumbotron, you will be powered up for this one. For the most part, you're just mashing at this. A couple orbs will probably come out unless you have godlike mashing. I don't even mean as fast as possible. Again, it's modern. It's just rhythmically tapping. If you're perfectly tapping in rhythm, you might be able to skip the orbs. But you have to do like a little jump rope around them. So we got one set of orbs. You just jump it, jump it. You want to stay in between when it's dropping those down. Aim diagonally there. And you should be able to kill it before it even gets any of those zappers above to go and shoot down at you. Something else with that was I like to go and pretty much stay in there when it's about to come crashing down and shoot the shockwave at me. So again, let's just show the fight pretty quickly. So one set of orbs will come out, you just jump it, jump it. It looks a lot scarier than it is, and here, just stay in there. Stay in there. Gotta believe. And there you go. Jumbotron's pretty simple fight. Drosera, everyone's favorite. So she has some RNG to her where she can just go into hiding. It's really annoying. There technically is something you can do about it, but it's like if you're as far away as possible when she's spawning, then she will not go into hiding, but then it also makes it difficult to do damage to her, so it's not great in a speedrun anyways. So at the beginning of the fight, you're just going to hold upright, start doing some firing, jump up here and do some firing, and then once the vines come crashing down, just jump towards them after any of them clear. If it goes in the middle, you want to cling to the left or the right, so then you can, the grenades have very, very little AoE. So as long as you're on the edges, you're fine. Here, stay as far away as possible. The grenade will not be able to hurt you from there. In Warden Rush mode, she doesn't stay out as long for the first phase, so it's a lot harder to get the 3-phase kill, or the 3-cycle kill on her. So was that all the positions? I guess we can go back there and see if there's any. I think I missed bottom middle, which is the easiest one. Oh, there's a couple more. If it gets the edges, the top left and the bottom right, you can just stand right underneath her. Again, the grenade does not have much AoE to it. Here, you just want to be as far away as possible. Just stay in there, just like this. For me, it's the top middle that's the worst spawn, because you have to jump pretty precisely on the left or the right. Like here. So I'm on the far left. Again, it's Warden Rush mode. It is a lot more difficult to get the 3-cycle kill in Warden Rush mode. It's just a weird difference in Warden Rush mode. But that's the basic of that fight. If she's in the corners, again, just remember the AoE from the grenades is very, very small. So you can mostly just stand like not quite exactly underneath her, just slightly to the right or the left, and the grenade will the explosion from the grenade just won't hit you. Coolant drive, there really isn't, I don't have too much of a strategy here. So once the life bar starts to go and fill up, you can grenade, and it'll get do some damage. So there we go, life bar started going up. Then I stay in the middle, and I try to make it as much as possible where I will not be shooting it like directly straight forward into it, but there's just so much RNG into this fight. I like a lot better being powered up just because you cover more range, but it's not that important to be powered up for this fight. do whatever you want. You can just like attack, stay towards the middle, attack right, attack up and down. I just like to do it where I don't have to move around too much. I might be able to get a decent fight here. Okay, pretty good here. Doesn't always go this well, so. Now it's getting a little scary, but yeah, just be a little safe, just mash away. Something like that's fine. Just don't forget to have a grenade going in there. It's very easy to have a grenade going into that fight. Mod Loader, the factory boss. So the easiest way to get consistent kills is just stay right underneath it. It has these arms. So towards the middle, like where you see the guy that's piloting the mech, if you look straight down from there towards the left and the right, there's kind of like a triangle basically, the person, and there's these two like front wheels. There's this little notch in between those wheels, and that's what we're going to be using for our visual. We want to be standing there and then crouching there, going to do all of our damage. So get underneath it. Do a little damage to there if you want, and then you just crouch. You'll get hit by a bomb, it's fine. That's the quickest way of doing it. If you don't want to take any damage, you can also slide out of there. In that case, you want to be a little bit further back so you can safely slide out. So here, be like a little bit further back, not quite in the middle divot. And then, alright, so I still need to be further back at that point. But I usually just take the 1 damage and get the quick kill. If you don't, you do need to be further towards the edge. So here I'm going to stay towards the right leg. Slide out, wait for it to open its leg again, slide in there, and then finish it off. So it is noticeably slower doing it that way, but if you don't want to take any damage at all, that's what you do. The nodes boss. So at the start of this fight is this fight is all RNG spawns, except the initial one is always in the middle, so you just want to stand off center, jump, do some damage above. The bottom node, it's really nice if you can get that early on. The bottom node on the bottom right is where it starts. It can be a bit of a pain to deal with later on because it moves so quick from right to left, you can't get too much damage in later phases. So you hope to get an early spawn of it, but you don't have much control. So off center, just stand up, do some damage. And we got an early spawn on the bottom, not bad. Here you can stay like right towards the middle again. Just gonna do 3 shots and just kind of like stutter step in there. So in the regular speed run, it doesn't matter how many power-ups you end up with on this fight, you just want to stay powered up throughout the fight. Because you're going to be going into the freeway stage right after this, at least in the current route that we have. So let me go and show it again. See if I can get a little bit better of a kill there, but that was fine. So we got a late bottom node, unfortunately. Yeah, so you should have basic strategies for each node as it's coming. Probably do a more in-depth version of this fight, but let me just try to pause and discuss. So again, beginning off center, and then depends where it goes. All right, so it's in the bottom right here. So you're just going to do a couple regular attacks, jump it. And early on, it doesn't move too fast yet, so you just have to get used to the timing of it. So the right middle one, you can try to, from here where I am. So usually also, when you don't know where it's going to be, just stand somewhere near the center, slightly off center. That's generally a pretty good spot to be. So here, it's already going to start moving towards the left, and you don't want to be in that path. You can try to get, jump and get some shots in, and then slightly off center, just go hold up, basically. That's probably a pretty good way to do it there. Here, I don't know where it's going to spawn yet. The top left one, it's going to shoot 3 little, bombs at me basically. So just kind of like stutter step your way in there. Kind of hard to do while midway through it, but yep, something like that. And then when there's only a few left, you just want to kind of like camp that entrance and just spam away. So it's a fight that when you start getting an idea of like where to stand, and then it's just going from what is still left there, you just have to react pretty quickly. Dock Diver, you're just going to be chasing right to left. There are certain times where it's always going to drop a mine, but where the mine goes varies. That's RNG. But yeah, let's just go and show the fight. It starts on the right. You just kind of like chase it down, jump it. Chase him down, jump it. Here comes the mine. Here comes the mine. And there you go. That's the fight. There's not much to that fight. You just chase him around. You get used to the timings when he drops the mine. It's always the same. So let's just do it again. Here comes a mine this way back. Might even kill it before it gets the next mine out. Yep. So there, I was right on its back the whole time, so that's about as quick as you can do for Modern. The Hellevator fight. So this is a multi-phase fight. Has a good deal of RNG of what patterns it gets to. When you get it below 50% health, that's when you get into the floating phase. So you get sent like airborne, zero gravity. And you're kind of swimming around there. I'll go into more detail when we get there. You can do some damage to these side lasers, but it's like 20% damage, so it's not very much. It doesn't really matter if you do damage there, because it usually means you miss out on the damage on the main machine itself. This is the worst patterns, is where you can't do much damage there at all. You just have to go and suck it up and deal with it there. These, as you start seeing the beam come, well, here you got to move out of the way. I assume you know how to actually deal with the boss itself in general. This is kind of like the speed part. Alright, so the floating part. Easiest way for me, I just hold R, which locks you into firing diagonally up. And then I'm just pressing down and up on the D-pad. Just the directional is down and up at times, so I will have to do what I call jump roping. I mean, it's not really jump roping, but there's going to be a laser that's going to be locked onto wherever your current position is, so you just have to like bounce down or up to dodge it. That's it. And you have to like go slightly left or slightly right. The mechanics of the fight, it kind of pulls you a little bit. Like here I'm not even pressing right. It kind of just pulls you a little bit there as you get like a little momentum into it. But again, just hold R so you're locked into aiming upright or up left. It just locks you into holding diagonal, basically, whichever way you're facing. And then you're just doing light taps right and left to kind of like keep yourself moving along. And you'll find out as you're doing it, there's a little bit of a momentum to it. Like as you start floating, I call it floating or swimming towards the right, it's going to just carry you. You don't even have to be pressing right anymore at certain points. You just have to make very fine adjustments and start tapping left. So let's go and do it again. And I'll just show you like the damage you can do here. Like it just does not matter much. Like so I would usually get down to roughly 50%, and here roughly 50%. So doing the damage at the start doesn't really matter there. You try to get like a little bit of damage if it's totally free, like there, it just doesn't really matter. And now we move to the next phase. Just hold R. We're going to be swimming right and left here, whichever way it goes. Alright, it's going towards the right. And then it's going to go towards the left. We're going to have to dodge beams in a second. So I just move down very slightly. Make a slight adjustment. Knowing I have to keep going right and left and right and left. And then it's going to come back up top if you don't finish it off there. So that fight just takes a lot of practice to get used to. You don't need to do it flawless, because when you go into the next stage, which would be HQ2, it doesn't matter if you start with like 0 or 1, it's not a big deal. You don't want to be powered up very early in that. Chief Payne. For the most part, you're just going to be doing a lot of damage, jumping if it's sliding into you, and that's about it. You shouldn't even have to deal with, well, at the beginning, you're going to have to jump over some of its shots. In Warren Rush mode, you're going to be spawning too far away, so you have to jump over the first couple shots always. In the actual fight itself, sometimes you can do enough damage early that you don't even get those shots at you. But yeah, let's just get into the fight. There also is a phase where you cannot do damage to it. It'll deflect your shots. It's really annoying. So just jump that. Comes up. And here's the deflecting part. So if you do damage here, I mean not damage, but if you start attacking it, you get all of your shots to start deflecting, and it's bad news. They start ricocheting all over the room. We don't want that. You can transition them slightly quicker doing it, but then you have to go and deal with dodging all of your big chakram shots, and it's pretty bad. So I like to just outside of its range, just so as he starts walking out of it, you can do damage. Anytime he teleports, he's going to do a slide. So if he does a teleport, a slide attack's coming up. And then the Payne 2 fight, it's a scripted fight. So whenever it does this running charge right here, you slide, and then you immediately turn around and start doing some damage. Here it's going to come crashing into the ground. So this is just kind of like, I assume you know the basics of this fight at this point, how to dodge these attacks. So charge, jump and smash, and then the charge I can actually trip. As long as you're powered up, you can skip a phase, and you have decent mash timing, I should say. Oh yeah, I can show off something else. When it throws a boulder, you can jump and shoot a fully powered chakram to break the boulder. It's kind of cool. As long as you get that little explosion on every cycle, that's a good thing. Here we go, jump, you can kill that. Occasionally it gives you something, but it's pretty rare, especially on Modern. And as long as you didn't overmash, where you're going into the red on your weapon meter, or undermash slightly, you should be able to go and kill it with saving that extra cycle you would usually have. Spirit of Detroit. I kind of already went into a lot of detail on this fight elsewhere. Oh, in my beginner speedrun video. There's a few different things I can mention about this fight, though. So let me just go over some of the things. So at the beginning, nothing you can do. You need to get fully powered up to be able to do damage, which is only in one phase. The hands are kind of low. You want to be just kind of timing your slides. As the beams come out, I like to go and say, go the opposite way you think you should go. I can pause it there at a later point, but here we go. Got my 3 power-ups. Then you just jump, just do a little bit of damage. On Modern, it doesn't matter exactly how precise you are. It matters more on easy difficulty where you can get a quick kill. Here, so the laser beam, you see as it's going left to right, you want to actually, it's not doing damage yet. This is just kind of tracing where it's going to go. It is directing an explosion that's going to happen. So for some reason, as it's going left to right, you want to be sliding towards the left. If it's going right to left, you want to slide to the right. So the opposite of what it looks like you should do. And here, whenever the hands come down, if you see the hands are in your reach, that means you need to grab the hand, and then you just need to time jumping. Oh, I didn't grab the hand because pause. And then you just jump up, casually do some damage. There's little things you can do. You can try to make it so as you collect the 3rd power-up, you're mid-jumping up in the air. Grab a hand, time your jump there, and then we get a little bullet hell. So what I meant with that is, as you're jumping and doing attacks straight up to go and bust open its chest to get those power-ups, when you're getting the 3rd power-up, that's when you can start dealing damage. If you do it as you're landing from a jump, you're not going to be able to reach it yet, so you're missing out on a tiny bit of damage. Yeah, so if you do it as you're in mid-jump, collecting that 3rd power-up, you'll immediately begin to do damage as you're still jumping in the air, heading upward. So ideally you do something like that, but it's pretty precise timing, figuring out exactly when to do that. For the most part, just jump and mash away with your usual Modern mash timing. Here you look at the ceiling, so this is actually pretty clear to stand right in the middle. Sometimes you need to do a little side-to-side stepping here. You can stay right in the middle. So yes, you can optimize the jumping part of it if you can figure out a really good timing for it. I haven't figured it out. This, you just want to get as far away as possible, so then the light orbs kind of like spread out as they're going into the distance. Just get some range. Here you just need to kind of glance at the ceiling. So I saw that the right side was open, so as the ceiling fell there, went right to it. We're going to get a couple beams on the side here. Grab the hand and jump over. We're going to get some orbs. There's a few ways to do this part. You can either be really far away, jumping away and doing like a little jump rope there, or if you want to be like as optimal as possible, stay in the middle and time your jumps. So jump, 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 jump. There you go. And then finish it off. And timing ends whenever you do the last hit, like right there basically. Alright, so I hope this was helpful. Just want to do a guide on all the bosses. Let me know if you want me to cover any more detail on any of these for the speedrun. I assume you know the basics of dealing with these bosses in the first place, but this is how we deal with them in the speedrun of the game. See ya.